How to use a pendulum. I love my pendulum. Some people don't want to use a pendulum. You don't have to use a pendulum if you don't want to. But so many people ask me, how do you use a pendulum? Can you show me how to use a pendulum? First thing I do is I take my 2 fingers and I put them on my higher self point, which is right about the sternum, that hard bone there. And then I'll hold the pendulum in my hand that feels most comfortable. So it doesn't have to be a specific hand. It doesn't have to be your writing hand. It doesn't have to be your non-writing hand. What you'll do is you put your 2 fingers at your higher self point. This point here is your truth button. Higher self is where you get the truth. If I don't hold my higher self here, my higher self point, I will get very different answers, and they'll be what I want them to say. Very subjective by not touching my truth point. So this is a way of connecting with your higher self to get truth. Now, disclaimer? A disclaimer on asking certain questions. If you have a life-altering question, you might want to have someone else ask for you using their higher self point for you. You know, what used to happen is people would say, oh, I get a yes one day and a no one day and a yes one day, and it was all depending on the person's mood because their emotional field was too attached. So however they were feeling, that's how it moved their pendulum. If it's a life or not life or death, but you're super attached, you can't be neutral, ask someone else. They don't even have to know what it is. They can write it on a paper and you can put it in an envelope so they don't see it. And then they can say, okay, is this in Corinn's highest good to do this or to have this? How I use this in even choosing a pendulum. You can go up in the store, look at all the pendulums, and just see one you're drawn to. Grab it, put your higher self point, touch it, and then hold the pendulum. You don't want to usually hold it where it's like too long, because then it just takes forever to get your answer. But you don't want it to be too short, because it might be like, which way is it going? You can't really perceive the difference. So you say, okay, show me a yes. And my yes, you can probably see it moving, goes back and forth. So my yes, back and forth. If you think you're moving it, you could put your elbow on a table, right, in front of you. Show me yes. And then you could say, show me a no. And then it'll do whatever it's going to do. Mine is going side to side. Some people's go in a circle this way, circle that way. So you've got your yes, you've got your no, and then you look at a pendulum, or you could even ask, if you're choosing a pendulum, is this the one for me? And if you get a yes, booyah, you've chosen wisely. If you get a no, it can choose a pendulum for you. So you grab another one. Okay, well, I like this one too. So you put it down. Is this the one for me? And you get your yes or your no until you get your pendulum. That's a very simple explanation of how to use a pendulum.